Hi, I'm Neil Druckmann, and you're watching Connected Digital World.
Hi, Andrew from Connected Digital World here. Sony and Naughty Dog are about to release their new game, The Last of Us. We've been seeing lots of footage and lots of exciting stuff about the game for about a year now, and the release date is almost upon us. At a recent event, I got the opportunity to sit down with Neil Druckmann, who's the creative director on The Last of Us, and he's from Naughty Dog. So here's our exclusive interview with Neil, and check back because we've also got an interview with Ashley Johnson, who plays Ellie. Enjoy the video. Hi, thank you for joining us.
Sure.
Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Yeah, my name is Neil Druckmann. I'm the creative director on The Last of Us, and I work for Naughty Dog.
Great, so do you want to tell us a little bit about The Last of Us for those who don't know anything about it?
Yeah, The Last of Us is really the story of Joel and Ellie. They're two survivors who are trying to make their way across the United States that has been ravaged for the past 20 years by a pandemic that has wiped out most of the population. It has driven some of them mad, and they turn violent, and that's how kind of the infection spread, is through fluid transfer. Also, when they die, they release spores into the air, so there's a lot of ways for you to catch this infection. And the two main characters are Joel, who's a middle-aged guy who's lived on both sides of the outbreak. So he's seen the world that we know. The conveniences that we have all disappear as the government has collapsed, as society in a way has collapsed. So he's become very cynical over that 20 years of the infection. And he does whatever it takes to survive in this world. He's not above killing or even torturing to survive another day. And the person he ends up being paired with, reluctantly, is a 14-year-old girl named Ellie, who all she knows is this post-pandemic world. So things that would kind of be horrific to us, like people dying or people getting killed because they're scanned positive for infection, are day-to-day occurrences to her. So she could still kind of remain childlike and somewhat innocent in this world, while at the same time be very capable and braver and wiser beyond her years.
Fan out! You ready, asshole? I got you! Strike this asshole!
Fuck.
What would you say was the biggest challenge you had from creating this new game? So I imagine there's quite a lot to choose from.
Yeah, it's the thing that the almost impossible goal that we've set ourselves for is like we need to make this relationship between these two main characters believable. And we've always said if that doesn't come off, then we would have failed. And if you think about it, for Ellie, who's a totally AI-controlled non-player character, for you to believe in her, the performance has to be great, the animation has to be great, the kind of decision her AI makes has to be believable and surprising at the same time. So all these elements really had to come together for you to buy into that I'm on this journey with this person, and not only that, I'm intrigued by this person. I buy into the banter between them. I'm learning to care about them, and I'm learning to rely on them because my life is at stake, and this person can mean the difference between life and death.
Did you have the entire story planned out when you started, or did it sort of really change as you went along over the several years?
At the beginning of when we started production, we had the major beats fleshed out, and we knew the arcs of the characters. And then, the way we kind of write our stories in Naughty Dog is we keep things very fluid and flexible, because a lot of times, as you're figuring out gameplay, there isn't like a set way to find fun. You don't know what it's going to be, and you have to experiment quite a bit. So we had to keep things flexible, so as kind of gameplay dictated certain requirements, the story would have to change. Likewise, sometimes, as we cast the actors and they would provide their own interpretation of the characters, the story would evolve. And that would require certain changes for gameplay. So everything had to be very fluid and things relied on one another for us to tell and give this kind of experience.
What influences did you draw on for the game and for the story?
All sorts of things have been really inspirational. You know, we're big fans of kind of the survival genre. We see survival as things from 28 Days Later to this book called City of Thieves, which is historical fiction about these two guys surviving during World War II, to just reading a book about polio and how people got paranoid and how fragile our society is when it's threatened in any sort of kind of major level. Those have all been kind of inspirational in building the world. But then, you know, as a writer, you try to draw on personal experiences. As like a dad, I try to take a lot of the feelings I had and kind of read them into the story, because at the end of the day, it's a story about a father and daughter relationship. Even though they're not related, that's kind of the arc of the story. That's where it's ultimately headed, is to build that kind of relationship and to make the player feel that sort of relationship.
So thanks very much to Neil for taking the time to talk to us, and that's where we have to leave this one for now. But stay tuned, because we've got an exclusive interview coming up with Ashley Johnson, and Neil joins in as well.
We don't have to do this. You know that, right?
After all we've been through, everything that I've done, it can't be for nothing.